Oh, we're back. Can you hear
Oh.
us? I think they can hear us. Good, right, yeah, we've got levels, they can see us. I'm alive, everybody, I'm not dead. I've been away, I was off for 2 weeks. Not by my own design, but we had a rail strike 1 week, so I couldn't get into the office. And then last week I was really poorly.
Oh. Well, nice seeing you back.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. So unfortunately, it's been a while, and I'm back though.
Welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Me too. I haven't been here in a while,
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool to be here. I like this cave.
In our broom cupboard. Yeah, we're still in the broom cupboard, everybody. If you're paying attention to our streaming room situation, SRS for short, we are still in the broom cupboard. Because the other streaming room is being finished off, but it's fine. We're comfortable, we're cozy. Me and Anton are really good friends, so being this close isn't a problem. Right, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing today, shall we? First things first, we'll get through some updates because it's been a while. A lot has gone on in the last 3 weeks since the last time we streamed. So we've got some updates to wrap up firstly, and then we're going to take a look at some of the, as you can see next to Anton, some of the new stuff that's coming to TerraTech. That's it. There it is.
Just hiding right over there.
Yeah. And I'll come on to more of that in a minute. But first things first. Anton, this might be a bit boring, so I don't know. Entertain yourself.
Okay. No, you're not being boring, Matt. Not at all.
First things first. The console update. So we released an update on console.
Woo!
Yay! We did a thing. But what we did do was we gave you an additional block. We gave console players an additional block that you shouldn't have actually had access to. It's called the Universal... No, it's not called the Universal Fabricator. It's called the Custom Corp Fabricator or Custom Corporation Fabricator. What that block does and what it's meant to do is for modding or modders on the Steam version, the PC Steam version. It allows, if you have mods, you can use this fabricator and it will create blocks for all the corporations. No, for modded corporations. Sorry, it's a mod, not all corporations. It creates. It's a fabricator to create blocks for the mods, for many mods that you've got. It's to do with mods, alright? I'm not explaining it very well, but it's a block that shouldn't be it doesn't need to be in the console version. It shouldn't be in there. It got added by a mistake, and it means that if you try and use it, if you try and place a resource on it, your game will crash. So if you have got the console version, this is on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch in the US and the EU version. So if you're in those territories on the Switch. If you try and use the Custom Corp Fabricator, your game will crash, categorically. So it doesn't do anything else, it's not meant to do anything else. But like I said to Anton earlier, if you want a nice quick way of getting out of your game, use that block and use it that way, because that's the only thing it will do. But the good news is, the best way for us to fix that is to release the next console update sooner. Which means that basically console players are going to get another update very, very soon. So we're working on the QA, are currently working on getting that out as soon as possible because all the content's in there, as you can see, cause the content exists because it's in the PC version and the Steam version. But QA are basically making a much more concerted effort to get that version ready to be released so that we can get it released as soon as possible. The good news as well is that there shouldn't be much red tape or sort of steps for us to get through with Switch, Xbox and PlayStation. It should just get released. As soon as it's ready to go, it should be released. So go check that out. If you're on console, you'll get a new update soon, and that fabricator will be removed. So again, we do apologise for that. It was just something that got added erroneously. So that's one bit of news. This next bit of news, we released console update, Steam version 1.4.19. So that is out. So we released that last Monday. That included a load of Hawkeye fort blocks. We showed those off on a stream a few weeks ago, so you can go check out the new Hawkeye fort blocks. One thing that was suggested as we released the unstable version was that the Hawkeye the Hawkeye fort block, should have more health, and as a downside should have more weight. So they're meant to be a bit more 40. I think they were just a bit too similar to the Geocorp blocks. They were a bit too similar to sorry, people are talking to me in chat. The small fort block isn't able to be used in co-op for no reason. Yeah, I think that's another thing. There's a few blocks that are blocked off in co-op for some reason that needs to get unblocked. So I'll have a word with Taku and see if we can get that remedied. Again, it probably was just an oversight on our part. But the Hawkeye fort blocks, like we said, are a bit too similar to other Geocorp blocks. and they're not really 40 in that respect. So what we've done is we've ramped up the health, so they're really beefy beefy blocks. But to compensate, we've really bumped up the weight as well. So you can't just chuck a load. We can, but you're not meant to chuck loads on your tech. If you chuck loads on your tech will kind of ground to a halt. It'll be overbound, and then it won't.
It's kind of a new approach to making blocks, right? So before it was mainly focused on vehicles, and flying basically all the vehicles. But now just kind of the philosophy of making structure blocks. That's kind of a bit different. Yeah, it's a bit new. So it's cool. It works, right? So Taku is doing a really good job, just kind of just figuring out, see what works.
Problem solving, yeah. So
So
Sebi makes a really good point, and it's something that we need to bring up. Is those changes were meant to go in 1.4.19 in the last Steam update. Unfortunately, they weren't quite ready in time. So those changes weren't added in time for the release. But they will be added in the next update. So 1.4.20, which will be the next update, it will have those changes included. What that's going to mean is if you have techs that have got those blocks on them, your tech will get considerably heavier. So Sebi made a good point and said, my poor ship will be much slower. Yes, if you build like a boat or a hovercraft or something that flies, or a helicopter that flies that has these blocks on them, your tech will get a lot heavier. And so just something to be aware of, that change is coming, and if it does affect your tech, I can only apologise.
Also tougher, so
the upshot is they will be a lot healthier. So that's something to bear in mind. The last thing, and this is the last thing before we get into the there's two more things. You would also notice in the last new stuff stream I showcased some ramp blocks. Those didn't get added either because of a bug that's persisted for a long time. You've probably noticed it. If you've ever tried driving a tech on top of another tech, and then the bottom tech drives off, you're left with tyre tracks in the sky. So the top tech leaves some tyre tracks in the sky. That's a persistent kind of bug or issue that's been in TerraTech since day one. And the problem with these ramps is that it creates that effect and it leaves these tyre tracks left sort of hovering in the air. They don't disappear. So Django, I believe, has fixed that bug now.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure about tire tracks, but there's also some driving on. If you remember, there's anchored blocks and non-anchored blocks.
Yeah.
So kind of under the hood, it's sort of considered they were being treated slightly differently, because they need to kind of make sure how everything collides. And I think that's why it was causing big problems. And then this ramp, you don't want to. It needs to be anchored with construction. We made it to be an anchor. But then that's what you couldn't really drive on it. It was literally as if you could glue it, which was ridiculous.
Didn't do what you wanted it to.
Yeah, and it seems it should be an easy fix. But then Django, our programmer, he's like, okay, let's not rush into just quickly changing it because it can break. There's a chance it can break lots of other things. So we have to be extremely careful. And then he managed to do it. And then so not sure about tire tracks, but definitely now we can drive on it, and that's good to
go. So just to clarify, there was a block that I showed off in a previous stream that didn't get added, but it will get added in the next update. So watch out for that. Is these ramp blocks, and you've also added a couple more. There's a couple more that you've showcased today that are going to go in. We'll probably show those off in a future stream, maybe in a couple of weeks. Cool. And then the last thing, I realise I'm waffling because you wanted to see the cool new stuff. The last thing is the enemy tech population. The deadline for your submissions was Monday. Now I've arbitrarily picked Monday because it was just 2 days. It was 2 weeks from when I opened the thread. But I realise I've not given people quite enough time to sort of finish off their designs. So I've extended it until Friday. So you've got another 2 days, so the 8th of July. It will close about 6 p.m. We won't be accepting any more submissions on that thread. So sorry, I'm getting a bit of hiccups. So for those that don't know, we asked you guys and girls to submit some text to be added to the enemy population. There's a whole thread on our forums where you can do that. I'll tell you what, I'll try and find that now. Bear with me, everybody.
There's that question. Will the reticle research ramps be reworked to be similar to the Hawkeye ramps, or will they stay the same? I suspect they will stay the same, because the new Hawkeye ramps, they're just pretty much the same thing except larger, and one of them is actually an anchor which collides with the terrain. So it's one of those. So reticle research ones staying as they
Yeah.
like as they are right now. But maybe like if community, a few people wanted, we might. So if this anchorable ramp like works really well, right? Then I think it makes sense to add to Grateful Feature because they do have like windows and other structural blocks. So it's sort of a. Sorry, that was a very long,
no, it was a good answer.
way of answering your question.
No, good stuff, good stuff. Hey, any updates on the suggestions on Discord, like the Favre one? Yes, so that's a good question, Warbrand. We launched a new channel, a new Discord channel. It's a whole suggestions channel where we use that to collate and collect all the feedback, all the new ideas and cool stuff that you guys and girls and everyone want to see included in TerraTech. We've taken a few. Whoopsie, that's a fan. We've taken a few of those and we're sort of debating with those internally. What we'll do every milestone, so every 6 weeks, we will take the top sort of 10 or 20 suggestions and we'll just talk about them internally. We'll sort of go through any ideas that we want to work on. So one of them is this idea of, I mentioned earlier, is the enemy tech population. We want to refresh that so that the new blocks get included. That was one of the bits of feedback that we've got. Things like a Blockpedia, we're sort of actively looking at that. There was some other sort of niggly little things that we were able to fix quite quickly. One of them was did we change the Geocorp auto miner pickup placement? Do you know if we've done anything with that?
I don't think so. I haven't touched it.
I felt like that was quite an easy fix, but anyway, there's loads on there, and we'll do that every 6 weeks. So, and then we'll try and relay back to you guys what the what those changes are or what we're discussing internally. So yeah, that's what we're up to with the suggestions channel. Right, let's move on because I feel like I'm talking too much and no one wants to hear us talk. They just want us to see. They just want to see new stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand over the reins to my good friend Anton.
Let's go. By the way, I love listening to you talk. So
good, thanks, man. I'm glad someone knows. Right, so you take over. You hit resume game.
There's a mouse. There's a keyboard.
There's a keyboard. So what I want Anton to do, as you can, hang on, let me. Sorry, chat can't see this. This is what chat needs to see. You don't need to see any of that. So you need to see on our little on a little mini map. I've added a marker.
Wow.
So if you can see, we're in the salt flat. So what I need you to do, Anton, is head towards that marker on your mini map.
Is it the
the white flag. Yeah, it's the white flag.
Cool. Let's go.
Head over to that and see what's there. 'Cause, it might be a nice surprise.
Surprise! I like surprise.
Well, Anton,
a good one. A good one. I like good surprise.
This is the best.
Oops. Okay.
Come on, man.
Sorry. I really want to boost like crazy, but then
people are watching.
Okay, lots of pressure.
Ghost Diamonds 89 on. Hang on. Stop. Just quickly. Ghost 89 on Twitch chat says nice shirts, by the way.
Thank you.
We are the Cool Shirt crew. Me and Anton are the sole members of the Cool Shirt crew. If you want to join the Cool Shirt crew, we do take applications, but it's an exclusive club. I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah.
We are. Accidentally, we've come to work dressed like absolute badasses. Right, I think we're there. So let's
go.
Let's just see what it is.
Let's see.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the camera work. Oh, is this on the horizon, Anton? Oh my goodness!
What's this?
Where are we?
What happened here?
Let's wait for chat to go mental. Chat, if you can go mental for me, that would be really good. Do a quick drive around. Let's just see what's going on. Insane, yes, the Scottish Pinecone. Good name, by the way. So here we are. Interesting. So what crashed there? Well, Warbrand, let's talk about what this is. This is, and I would like to welcome everybody to the Wasteland biome. New biome. So this is it. This is a new biome. This is something that I've been so excited for so long. Right, so let's talk about what this is. This is the Wastelands biome. This is it's a brand new biome that we're going to add to TerraTech in the next update. There's a few cool new features, but what I'll talk about while Anton drives around. So you may or may not be aware that at TerraTech, at Payload Studios, we are a community-driven developer. By that, we take on a lot of community feedback. You may not see it, you may not realise it, but we do listen to what our community says, and we take a lot of it on board as much as we can. Obviously, that is within reason. That wasn't what you think it was. One of the things is one of the sort of the more requested things for the last sort of since a couple of years at least, has been a new biome, and we've just not had the scope to do something like that because it's a lot of work. But Rob is one of our senior artists. They've been working diligently to get this new biome added, and this. By the way, this is community-driven development in action. This is when we say community-driven development, this is what we mean. We've taken community feedback, we've listened, and we've implemented it. And this is the result. This is a brand new biome. So what we are looking at is there's some geysers, there's some rocks, there's some trees that give blocks. Now you would have noticed there is something else, this thing, right in front of Anton. So, Anton did this. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So
what is this?
This is just a pile of junk.
It's a pile of junk, everybody. We've added a literal pile of junk to TerraTech. You're welcome. Good night. End of stream. See you next week. Pile of junk.
Literally, but look, like this pile of junk, look, something's going on over there. Apparently,
something is happening.
It's kind of a bit functional, as if like there's a bit of electricity left or something like, I don't know how to describe it. Let's see. Oh, okay.
Okay. What have we got?
All right. Look.
We have
something else. Some sort of a little parts over there.
Component blocks. Components.
Components.
Yeah,
just components.
Components. Yeah. Junk. So it's a wasteland. So we've not really thought too, like with a lot of things with TerraTech, we don't really go too far into the lore or the backstory of it. We just do it and just hope that it fits. That's one of the beauties of it being a sandbox game. If I'm being brutally honest, if you allow me to be honest, we like you guys to fill in the gaps a little bit when it comes to lore and the story of TerraTech. But something happened here, maybe a plane crashed or something happened, and there's bits of scrap dotted about, there's desolate trees, and there's these, we call them resource givers, but these scrap tech. We need to give them a name. Should we ask chat if they can give these little resource nodes a name?
Yeah.
They haven't got a name yet. They haven't got a name, so I don't know how they're going to appear in game. Maybe it may not be added to the game as it is, but as can you give us a working title? So Charmoni asks a very good question, and this is something that I need to pose to the community. There's a few questions that I need to get some feedback on. So I'm gathering initial thoughts right now. A scrap pile, Charmoni said. Okay, we're going to call it a scrap pile. I think that's a good name. So at the minute, these scrap piles give random resources. Are they random or are they?
As of now, like you can see, it's only 2 types, but it hasn't been finalized. So basically, the design team, like, we haven't really decided. I don't think we decided like what exactly we should give because we want it to be balanced. So what we're seeing over here is like a just temporary selection of components. Yeah, just to make sure like it works. But what exactly it's going to give, it's yet to decide. Or maybe the design team already decided, but we're not sure.
Well, this is what we're going to ask. So Taku, who you would have seen from our last stream, has asked me to ask the community: would it be useful or would it be a good idea to have the resources give out chunks depending on give out components based on what weapon you use to mine that resource with? So right now, Anton has got 2 drills on it. If Anton was to swap those drills for a laser cutter, would he get some silicon something? Do you know what I mean? So,
kind of like if you think about it, it sort of makes sense because it depends on how you're breaking down like this pile of junk, right? If it's whether kind of like physically like drilling, then sort of
just metal shards will pop off.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's something a bit more refined, like a laser, maybe you'd get
like something like melted, like melted. I don't really care about components, but something I think it could maybe make sense.
So Warbrand made a good point. It should be based on the mining tool, tier, and faction. Yeah. So that's kind of it. So that's an idea that we're working with. So get your ideas in chat if how you would like to see that happen, because I think that'd be really fun. I think it adds a whole other sort of level of gamification. I hate that word. I can't think of a better word.
I like this word.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's just random. It means you have some control over it, and you can kind of add a bit more depth to the gameplay, which is always good. So get your thoughts in chat about that. Another question that I have is, where should this biome appear? Should this be like a late game? Basically, we're trying to think: is it early game, mid game, or late game? Should this appear close to your starting position, a bit further away from your starting position, or should it appear miles away from your starting position, so it's sort of a late game and it'd be therefore a lot harder? I think I know what people are going to say. People are saying it should be late game. Because
I want it now, Matt. I want it now.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right, because one thing that TerraTech is lacking is that kind of late game content where you've built the biggest tech possible and you're kind of the biggest dog in the park almost. So having somewhere like this where the enemy techs that spawn in are just like as big as you would be interesting.
Yeah, and also it seems like components, right? Sort of you get the component. Is it component factory?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get it a bit later on during the game, and basically it's like a next level of crafting.
Yeah.
And we'll probably want maybe integrate within that time when you get component factory, and then introduce it rather like in a way before get like at some point after. I think as a player, I probably won't expect something like that. Sorry,
I'm reading. Sorry, no, I'm reading chat. So Warbrand said it should be evenly spread, with the ones in the late game having more salvage, so it would have tiers like medium, heavy wastelands. The farther away, the more junk they have. I don't know how much we can kind of control what is in each biome depending on where you are. I think it literally is. Each biome has its own set of parameters, and therefore you kind of position where the biome goes. But something to bear in mind for sure.
Yeah, so basically we're kind of discussing how to do it, right?
Yeah. So this is something to really important to bear in mind to everybody. Is this is still work in development. So I don't know if I should have mentioned this way earlier. This is still a work in progress. Anything that we show on these streams between now and when we release the next update is very, very, very much subject to change. And by that I mean this whole biome could look completely different in a few weeks. It's unlikely. It's unlikely. I mean, this is pretty much final in terms of visuals, but things like where it appears in the game, like how those resource chunks work, or the scrap, what do we call them? The junk.
Scrap pile?
Scrap piles. How those scrap piles work are all very much subject to change. So bear all that in mind when you're watching this and you're watching us play through it, because like I say, it's all gonna get a bit different, which is good. But that also means that we can take on feedback. That also means that we can listen to what you have to say about all this, and we can implement changes. So, yeah, good.
Yeah.
There's one other thing. So there's three things I wanted to ask about. There was where the resources appear. How you gather the resources. It was also where the biome should appear. Oh, that was the other thing. Thank you, the trading station. One question that popped up when we ran a teaser, and I'll show the teaser in a minute. Is one of the bits, the feedback that we had after releasing the teaser trailer was, should trading stations appear in the wasteland biome? It's meant to be really desolate. It's meant to be really hard.
Yeah.
What do you think, Anton? Chat. This
honestly,
is also a question for you. Should the wasteland biome have trading stations? Anton,
I think
go.
probably not, because we can see like GSO, they're kind of GSO scrap,
Yeah.
right? And then I think that sort of suggests that maybe like there was some mechanical bits, like a man-made structures or vehicles that got destroyed, and it would make sense for trading stations to suffer the same fate. But there's one just right outside of it, literally.
Yeah. No, I mean that's just bad luck.
That's the vibe.
Sebi said it should have a wrecked trading station instead. Just sort of something wrecked that doesn't do anything. That'd be fun. Or something wrecked that does something else.
Like if there was a wrecked, I think if it did something, I think sort of it makes sense to have objects that do something. Maybe it doesn't like kind of trade. You can't buy anything over there. Maybe like something else. Or sort of they haven't added yet. We haven't had any thoughts just yet.
Yeah.
Starting off slowly and gradually want to introduce things. But yeah, if it sort of kind of works well with the lore or in the context, I think that would definitely suit the game. So I don't really know exactly what like how to go about it, but
No, I think you're right. I think having something like a trading station, or an absence of trading station is a good place to start. And then if you wanted to add something like a wrecked trading station, just to add a bit more variety to it. Something that the trading, like I say, something that does something differently would be fun.
Maybe something to give away, like like a busted vending machine gives away blocks for free.
Yeah. Just spits them out. Yeah.
Or maybe charges you more.
Yeah. So it's a payoff, isn't it? You can either get it's almost like a gamble.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Cool. Chat is talking. There was something I saw, like the Wasteland biome being Mad Max style. Yeah. Could bring in the space junkers with this biome. That was something that came to mind that I was going to talk about, but it's gone out of my head.
Breaking travel station for big components. Yeah, I guess it's sort of a breakable trading station would be similar to like
one of these,
resource giver.
But this is what this scrap junk pile could have been. It could have just been the remnants of an old trading station. This could be all the gubbins that was inside a trading station, which is fine. Oh, Anton, I forgot what it was now. Let me make it light again, because it's all very dark.
Go ahead. Switch on the lights. There we go.
And then, to stop us from doing this again, I'm just going to go... Cool. Hacker Man! Cool, right, so... this other thing that's gone out of my head now. Anton, it's 26 minutes past.
I've got 4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and you want to look last question? And did you go through the list? Sorry, I can't read your notes.
No.
Still can't. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
My absolute childish handwriting. I've gone through all my stuff. I'm sure there's a few things that I'm missing that hopefully will come to me towards the end of the stream. Let me scroll back through chat to see what chat's saying. If anything, there should be an exploded GSO trading station. Is there? Yeah. So we've been over the trading stations. Chat reckons sort of mid to late game for where the biome should appear. Still want a jungle biome. Oh yeah, jungle would be fun. Oh, that was it. That was what I need to talk about. So, the reason that we don't like doing things like new biomes too often is because you will need to start a new game save in order to make use of them. Because of the way that the world generation works, or the biome generation works, you need to start a new game in order to access the new biomes. So it's not going to be done in such a way that you can just start playing, you can keep on playing an existing game save, and then a bit of your biome will be replaced with the wasteland biome. So you'll need to start, in order to use a new biome, you'll need to start a new game, which makes any changes that we make to that biome apply as well. So we need to make sure this biome is fine and ready and done, and then we can ship it or we can release it, and then you can all start your new games, because we don't want to have to keep on asking players to restart their games.
Yeah.
Because that's not ideal.
That's a bit like a bit of a challenge for us, in terms of adding doing terrain work, because it's almost like hard coded. So once we create it, then you just kind of stick to it.
Yeah.
Unless there's a really good reason, or maybe coders can do something to kind of make it, do something.
Yeah.
To kind of add it without breaking saves.
Warbrand said, okay, so we already have to start new saves every time we add new major content update, as long as term save corruption. That doesn't make any sense, but we generally don't add stuff to the game that requires you to start a new game save. I think even when we did Better Future, all those new corporations and stuff, you still didn't need to start a new game to access that. New missions, all that stuff is able to spawn. I suppose new missions sometimes, if you've got a massive world and you've got all your world already spawned, you may need to do that. But something like a brand new biome that gets added randomly will need a
there's a New Game Plus mode where you get your past inventory and progress in New World. That's an interesting one, New Game Plus.
Joan, that is good. So you need to complete the game and then start again. That seems like Dark Souls territory that we're not. This is a sandbox. It's not meant to be a progressive thing. At least it never is. Anyway, right, you need to shoot.
Go in a minute. Anything else? You continue the stream, right?
I will for a few minutes.
Cool.
But feel free to shoot. Anton's going to shoot everybody, so give Anton your love. Thanks for joining, dude.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really fun. So it's a bit quick, but our schedule changes.
Absolutely. One half of the cool shirt crew is leaving. There's only one member left, but we'll be fine.
Well, you should be fine.
Cheers, guys. Dude.